Have you ever noticed that no matter where you are in life, there's always someone who seems to be doing better? Someone has a better job. Someone earns more money. Someone is more talented, more confident, or simply seems happier. Sometimes you're perfectly content with your own life until you see someone else's. Nothing in your life has changed, and yet, somehow, the way you feel about it has. So why do we compare ourselves in the first place?
One possibility is that comparison helped our ancestors survive. For most of human history, we lived in small communities where knowing where we stood actually mattered. Who was the strongest hunter? Who was the most trusted? Who had the skills everyone depended on? Comparing ourselves wasn't just curiosity. It helped us understand where we fit into the group and what we needed to improve. Even today, our brains still do something similar. Without thinking about it, we notice who's ahead of us and who's behind us. That seems to be part of being human. But if comparison helped us survive, why does it make so many of us feel miserable? Imagine you finally bought the phone you've wanted for months. You love it. It works exactly the way you hoped. Then a friend shows you the newest model. Suddenly, your phone doesn't feel quite as exciting anymore. But nothing about your phone has changed. Only what you're comparing it to. Sometimes we don't experience things as they are. We experience them relative to something else. Think about how often your brain uses comparison. A room feels warm after you've been outside in the cold. A glass of water tastes amazing after a long run. The same meal tastes different when you're hungry than when you're full. Our brains rarely judge things in isolation. They understand the world through contrast. Maybe that's exactly what happens with our lives. Instead of asking, "Am I doing well?" our brains quietly ask, "Compared to who?" There's almost always someone who earns more, someone who's more attractive, someone who's further ahead. If that's the ruler we use every day, we'll almost always measure ourselves as not enough. Comparison isn't new, the scale is. 100 years ago, most people compared themselves to a handful of neighbors, classmates, or coworkers. Today, before we've even finished breakfast, we can compare ourselves with thousands of people from every corner of the world. Promotions, vacations, perfect homes, perfect relationships, perfect bodies, one after another. The strange thing is that we're not comparing our whole lives to theirs. We're comparing our ordinary Tuesday to someone's highlight reel. Our brains know those are carefully selected moments, but emotionally, they often don't treat them that way. Comparison itself isn't the problem. In fact, it can inspire us. Watching someone master a skill can motivate us to learn. Seeing someone overcome a challenge can remind us that change is possible. The problem begins when comparison stops being a source of inspiration and becomes a measure of our worth.
So why do we compare ourselves?
Because comparison is one of the ways our brains make sense of the world. We compare prices before buying something. We compare routes before deciding which road to take. We compare temperatures before deciding what to wear. Comparing ourselves is simply another version of the same mental shortcut. The real problem isn't that we compare. It's forgetting that we're comparing things that were never equal to begin with. Different families, different opportunities, different personalities, different struggles, different goals, different timelines. We're using the same ruler to measure completely different journeys. Maybe that's why comparison can never really tell us how well we're doing. It can only tell us how different our paths look from someone else's.